Our number 2. How good was Kirk Cousins? Great job by him. You know, it is remarkable. It doesn't really matter. You could be a high school principal. You could be in construction. You could be in any business. If you just put your head down, don't create drama, deliver on production, it's amazing. You look up and you're like, you just keep getting better, putting in the time, putting in the effort, be coachable. You look up, and Kirk Cousins now got some stuff in the NFL record book. And, it's, more than you think. You start looking at the stats on Kirk Cousins, and you're like, most game-winning drives, largest comeback in league history. He's the only quarterback in league history that's thrown for over 450 yards with 3 different franchises.
Interesting. Sounds like you almost are lobbying for him to maybe be in the Hall of Fame. Is that what you're doing with Kirk? You like?
Well, he'll get votes. Phillip Rivers.
You'll get votes for the Hall of. Come on. You think Kirk Cousins has earned Hall of Fame material already?
Dude, he's gonna have 4 or 5 records all time.
Wow. Okay.
His comeback stuff now, that's the second best primetime game ever, along with Tom Brady. He's getting into a record book where most game-winning drives since he entered the NFL, number 1 in game-winning drives. He's getting into that category.
So
he's a much better. I'll give you an example. Kirk Cousins is a much better trailing late in the game, come from behind to win quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. That's not close. No, the numbers.
Probably, I think you're right. Yeah,
they're not necessarily close. He's better at that. He is. And you don't get any drama with him. You get 0 drama with Kirk. You know, it's funny in the staff meeting this morning, I walked in, and they didn't tell me initially. And as we wrapped it up, they said, "Did you hear that Kirk Cousins is on the show?" And I said, "Today?" And you know what the staff said? "You like that?" I thought it was pretty funny.
Oh, was that the whole staff or just one guy?
Yeah, well, you know.
Okay,
It may have been Tui. I'll give them all credit.
Okay, yeah, nicely done.
All right, so listen. We've all been on a turbulent flight in our lives. Things were a little bumpy. No crash landing, just a little bumpy. Need to rebound, like to land the plane a little softer this week. Here we go, Blazin' 5.
That's a hot one. Let's blaze it up. Fire it up. It's Colin's Blazin' 5. Jets versus Vikings.
Favorites do very well in London. Vikings -2.5. The better team, the healthier team. Jets are all banged up, including Aaron Rodgers. They have not trailed in the last 3 games against the Niners, Texans, and Packers. Darnold's on fire. They also lead the NFL in sacks, so they put constant pressure on you. I think the game will be close. The Jets don't want to be humiliated, but their 2 wins this year have been against Jacoby Brissett and Will Levis. And that Will Levis game came down to the end. Aaron Rodgers, Morgan Moses, Elijah Vera Tucker, C.J. Mosley. They're banged up. This is not a good spot for the Jets. Favorites do very well when you go overseas. Vikings win a competitive game 27-20. Lay the points.
Cardinals at 49ers.
I'm going to take Arizona 7.5. That's a lot of points. George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. Kittle's not going to play. Fred Warner, limited. He may not play. Listen, James Conner, McBride is back. So Trey McBride, the great tight end, is back. Marvin Harrison, 4 touchdowns in 3 games. Connor's become a stud. And I just like this Arizona offense. They had a stinker last week. But if you go and look, Kyler Murray was completing 70% of his throws 2 of the last 3 games. I like this offense. Niners defense, 3rd down defense this year stinks. They're all beat up. I'm going to take the Niners to win a close one at home. But 7.5 points for a division game for a pretty desperate Arizona team is too much. 27-23 Niners.
Giants at Seahawks.
So the wise guys think the number's out of whack. It was much better earlier in the week when the Seahawks were -5, but I like Seattle here. Malik Neighbors is not going to play. Devin Singletary, they can't run the ball with Devin Singletary. He's all banged up. Geno Smith's on fire. DK Metcalf on fire. -6.5, I can lay the points. Their defense, I'm sorry, but I think they're getting a couple of their defensive linemen back. I think Seattle was really impressive, like Tampa was last night, in a loss, in a standalone game. The Giants' only win came against Deshaun Watson, who looks like he's cooked. They've been held under 20 points in 3 of their last 4 games. Malik Neighbors is out. By the way, Wan'Dale Robinson's banged up. Brian Burns is banged up. This offense is a BB gun, and those numbers are with Malik Neighbors. I'm going to take the Seahawks to win 28-20.
Cowboys and Steelers.
I like the Steelers. I liked it better when it was -1, but I'll take it. Not getting the best of the number. Pittsburgh -3. Okay, they were beat by the Colts, but they outscored the Colts, did Pittsburgh on the road, 21-10 in the second half. This is about Dallas, though. Yippee, they beat the Giants and the Browns. They can't run the ball. 75 yards rushing a game. They can't run the ball, and the Steelers have a great run defense, so it's going to be very Dak reliant. Also, the Cowboys' defense since week 2 has been bad. You can run on them. What does Pittsburgh do? Run. Brandon Cooks out. Micah Parsons doubtful. DeMarcus Lawrence out. Trayvon Diggs banged up. I get a healthier team at home, and I think Arthur Smith and Justin Fields been pretty good. I'm going to take the Steelers to win. Again, a competitive game, 28-24.
Saints at Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs are going to win. I'm going to bet the number 5.5. The Saints have been an unlucky team. Their losses have been Falcons and Eagles, both losses by 3 points or fewer. Again, 5.5 points. Derek Carr, PFF has him as the highest graded quarterback. Alvin Kamara leads the NFL in scrimmage yards. The Chiefs have trailed by 7 or more points in every game. No Rashee Rice. Their offense has 7 giveaways this season. Only the Eagles and the Titans have more. It's a sloppy team now without their star volume receiver. And by the way, Mahomes this season has a passer rating of 116 when targeting Rashee Rice. Everybody else, it's 82, and he's out. The Saints offense this season has been pretty robust. Points per game first. Third down percentage, excellent. Second, I'm going to take the Saints to cover. I'm going to take the points all day. Chiefs win another close game, 24-23. Remember, Mahomes not targeting Rashee Rice, 82 passer rating. J-Mac wincing at that Jets pick.
No. Listen, just for grading purposes, I see Steelers at 2.5. I'm not trying to get in any arguments here, but you got a bad number there. That should be 2.5 for grading purposes.
It should be.
I could bet at 2.5 right now. So I think that's a great bet. I think that's the best bet you've got. And I like you holding your nose and taking the Arizona Cardinals 7.5. I'm not man enough to do that, but that's a good bet for you.
All right, Eric Mangini, NFL head coach, Jets, Browns, joining us now live. We just had Kirk Cousins on. I mean, it's crazy to think somebody throws for 5 football fields. It doesn't even make sense. You know, I was saying this about Kirk. If you start looking at these guys like Darnold and Baker and Geno, now Kirk's better than those guys historically, but when you've had, look at how many coaches he's had. He had Kevin O'Connell for a bit and Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan and Matt LaFleur. That's a lot of information Kirk Cousins has been able to glean off for years. Eric, I'm watching that last minute 14 with no timeouts. I'm not sure how many quarterbacks in the league can do that. You had to be impressed with that.
I was. I heard you were very impressed by the official and how quickly he was able to get the ball set.
Yeah.
You know who wasn't impressed by that is Tampa Bay. They weren't impressed by that at all. I thought the game was going to be over when he completed that pass, because typically with 12 seconds you don't have enough time to go down and spike it. But I like Kirk Cousins a lot. I really liked when Atlanta went and got him, because they've been loaded with offensive weapons. You and I have talked about this for 2 years now about how we thought Atlanta would pop, and they've had subpar quarterback play, and Kirk is a totally different package. And look at the way that he's getting these guys or he's taking advantage of the talent now. Whether it's Drake London, Kyle Pitts coming alive last night. He had almost as many catches last night as he had the entire season prior, and this is going to continue. And as Kirk gets more and more comfortable coming off the injury, I think this offense is going to continue to be